Hi, I'm Beryl, and the theme for today's video is pickling. I'm going to be pickling foods from 5 different countries. There's a lot of cool stuff in this episode, so let's get started.
Hi, my name is Ari. I live in Roshan, Israel, but originally I'm from Tashkent city in Uzbekistan. The dish I want to talk about is the pickled Korean carrots. It's one of the most popular pickled salads in ex-Soviet Union countries. We call it morkovka because in Russian morkov is a carrot and cha at the end adds some Korean vibe to it. It is a salad made of long, thinly sliced or shredded carrots like noodles, which are pickled in apple cider vinegar, chili onion oil, garlic and coriander seeds. It is sweet, sour, spicy at the same time and has a very interesting texture and a little crunchy bite to it. But this dish is not coming from traditional Korean cuisine that most of you may be familiar with. In Central Asia, we have a large Korean community with their own unique cuisine. In the 1930s, a lot of Koreans had moved into Central Asia and had to adapt their cooking techniques to the ingredients available in the region. There is no seafood in Uzbekistan and different kind of vegetables from Korea. Later, this cuisine spread across all the Soviet Union and became what Uzbek, Kazakhs, Ukrainian, Russian and even Lithuanians known as a Korean cuisine. This cuisine is also very different from traditional Uzbek cuisine, which is heavy and includes a lot of meat, cheap fat, dough, everything fried in oil, but not so spicy and vinegary as a Korean cuisine. Morkovka can be eaten as a side dish. It's a base for a lot of Korean salads and another salads in ex-Soviet Union. It also can be topping for some sandwich. It's paired with the meat perfectly. So it's a very unique dish that's simple to make and you should definitely try it.
Okay, we have the Korean carrot salad from Uzbekistan. Wow, this turned out really good. This was very much a trust the process dish for me. The ratio seemed very confusing, but I was like, you know what? Let's just follow it. I do not know better than this recipe. And I think it worked out really well. I might have been a little heavy-handed with the garlic because, you know, they say 1 garlic clove and you're like, we're doing more than 1 garlic clove. Traditionally, this is done with kind of spiralized carrots, so they're very long and noodle-like. I don't have a spiralizer, and I went to 3 different stores, including a Whole Foods, being like, they would definitely have like carrot noodles. Nobody had them. So I just went with shredded carrots from the store because they are thicker than if I was to shred carrots myself at home. And I wanted them to just have a little bit more of that structural integrity so that they would be crunchy still. The flavor of this is super different from anything that comes out of this part of the world, the kind of former Soviet satellite states. You can really taste the Korean influence here. I had this my first time when I was living in Russia, and it definitely was a breath of fresh air from what was the more bland aspects of Russian cuisine. One of the best parts of this is that it is in essence a quick pickle, so you can make it and have it later in the same day. Super simple. You probably have all the ingredients at home. I highly recommend it. It is an interesting dish and a beautiful taste of history. Before we get to the next dish, I do want to tell you about the artist behind me. His name is Kevin Lustik. He does needle art, which encompasses needlepoint and cross stitch. He calls himself a needlepoint rebel, and I can totally see why. I have never seen stuff like this before. I have found it to be hilarious and inspiring and just really cool to look at. I'm sorry, she is barking so much. I am leaving all of his information in the description so you can check out and support his work. Are you ready for the next dish? Ruff ruff, yes! All right.
My name is Tammi. I also go by the African foodie. I'm half Malawian and Zimbabwean, currently living in Malawi. The dish I would like to talk about today is mango pickle. Originally, it was adapted from Indian culture, so it is also called Artcha here, but we don't use quite as many spices to season it. We like the natural flavors of the mango to come through, so it does have quite a bit of bite to it because we use half-ripe to unripe mangoes. It carries some tanginess, little hints of sweetness, and it can pack quite the punch in terms of heat, but that's really dependent on how you make it. It is super duper common both in Zimbabwe and in Malawi, more so in Malawi because we have 7 different species of mangoes here. So it's one of those things that's not hard to find at all. You can get it store-bought, but I think it just tastes so much better when it's homemade. The first time I tried this was at a family gathering and it was just given to me. I had no say in the matter and I was so nervous because I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not, but I wound up falling in love with it and now I can't get over it. We use oil to preserve the mango, so it is more of a preserved pickle. We do add in lemon juice because it complements the natural tanginess of the mango and it really elevates the flavor. I love pairing this with nsima and chicken, and I just think that it makes the dish that much better. But you can pair it really with anything, rice included, but don't leave out chicken because that's my favorite way to eat it. I definitely recommend trying this because it will give you a little experience of Africa and your meals will never be the same. This is absolutely the perfect side dish. It can store for up to a month refrigerated, but that's really if it's even lasting a month in your home. Once you get a little taste of it, you will keep coming back for more and you will never get enough.
When I was making this episode, Rajat was like, how can you do a pickle episode and not include Indian pickle? Like, it's blasphemy. And maybe, this is an Indian pickle, but it's inspired by Indian pickle. And we've never had a dish from Malawi before. I do feel like this is more fermented than some of the other dishes that are in this episode, but I didn't really realize that at the time. So it's called pickle. So we're gonna just kind of go for that. I will say, it smells really strong. I believe in this alleged punch it will be packing. Oh my God. Just have a little bit of yogurt. The punch was packed. The punch was packed. Wow. This doesn't taste that similar to me to Indian pickle. I guess I can see the inspiration point. My mango that I used was definitely more of a half-ripe mango. The mango, it's interesting. Okay. The carrots are so spicy. The mango, though, because it has that bit of sweetness, it's got this kind of fermented sour and sweet taste. And then you have the kind of spiciness of everything else together. I can see how this would be very good with chicken. The color, I'll tell you, when I was making this, the turmeric was staining everything. My hands were stained, the countertop was stained. This was a pretty messy pickle to make, and it took a bit. I think it took in total around 4 days to get ready. Just to say that it's not exactly I'd like to try this and I'll have it tomorrow type of activity. Man, it is really spicy though. It's got that in common with Indian pickle. I felt a little fish out of water making this, but Tammi was like, I believe in you. You can do this. So I feel like, I still don't know if I totally did this correct. Tammi, let me know. It's really cool that as this channel grows, I'm getting dishes submitted from places that we've never had before, like Malawi. And Tammi does have a social media channel, The African Foodie, and I'm leaving links to all of her socials if you want to check her out and see some other dishes from these places that you might not be that familiar with.
Hi, I'm Cristal, and I live in Pennsylvania in the United States of America. And the pickle I would like to share with you is the pickled red beet egg. To make a pickled red beet egg, you hard boil eggs, then deshell them and soak them in a solution of sugar, vinegar, salt, red beets and their juices, and some water to make sure that they're covered. This is all put in a container, set in your fridge, and shaken every morning and every evening. And in 3 days, you will have pickled red beet eggs. When you bite into a pickled red beet egg, it will be tangy, sour, it will have a beety, earthy flavor to it as well. When I eat pickled red beet eggs, I think of family gatherings at my grandparents' house. They were essentially brought up as Mennonites, and traditionally, in Mennonite homes, when you have a family gathering, you have the 7 sweets and the 7 sours. So every time I would go to my grandparents' house for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, graduation, a picnic, there would be at least 7 different kinds of dessert and 7 different sours. And the one sour that I always loved was the pickled red beet eggs. I went to my grandmother to ask her how to make these, and she is a cook that does not use measurements. So it was quite a challenge learning how to make red beet eggs for me, a person who loves to have measurements every time. I hope you enjoy red beet eggs and that you find a new way and a simple way to make a pickle in your own home. Thank you for letting me share a part of my life with you.
Okay, I have my pink beet pickled eggs. I've never had a pickled egg before. I've only ever seen a pickled egg at like a bar top in the UK, and it's always in these like huge jars, and I think, I'll just get a bag of crisps instead, but thanks. Oh, it doesn't have that vinegary taste that you expect from something being pickled. It definitely tastes like beets. The color is definitely really pretty. I don't know, having a cold, hard-boiled egg, it's just kind of weird. If this was a deviled pickled beet egg, I think I would really like it. There's just something about a cold, hard-boiled yolk that's just not my favorite thing, to be honest. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna try this. I'm just gonna devil one yolk. Hold on. Okay, so I've kind of like done a little deviling job here in the middle. I love this now. I'm not sure if this is the authentic way to do it, but wow, this is really good. I do think that I have a bit of a bias because deviled eggs are one of my favorite party foods. If I ever see them at a party, I am beelining it. And I would eat like 5 eggs this way. Where if you were like, Beryl, would you like to eat 5 eggs? I'd be like, wow, that is a lot of eggs. But if they're deviled, I don't know, I can do it a lot. Yum. I really like them this way. I think what it really came down to is just the hard-boiled yolk is just not the best. The beet flavor is really, really good. It makes this whole thing super interesting. It was very simple to make. It's beautiful, and it doesn't have that overwhelming vinegary pickled flavor, but there is like a little je ne sais quoi about it that makes it more special and exciting. I recommend, but I do recommend making them deviled.
Hello, my name is Thalissa. I was born and raised in Managua, Nicaragua, but I have been living in Florida for the past 7 years. The dish I want to talk about is called Chilero Nicaraguense, or encurtido de cebollas, which is basically like a pickled spicy condiment. Chilero is a combination of onions, carrots, and chili peppers that have been fermented in vinegar. This condiment has the perfect vinegar taste, and the chili peppers just added just a great extra taste to the whole dish. It reminds me of my culture because no matter where you go in Nicaragua, whether it's to eat at the streets, like street food, or at restaurants or at home, you're always gonna find a chilero. It's like the main side dish to add spicy or, vinegary taste. I remember how this was made in my grandma's house particularly because she had this chili pepper tree on the back, and every day they would make a fresh batch and they would just get it ready in the morning for when it was time to eat lunch. And so I would go there and I was always excited because they had this amazing chilero ready for us. This can be stored for about a week but if you're able to do a small batch daily, it's better that way, so it keeps the fresh taste. It can be paired with any type of food, but I mainly love it with carne asada or vigorón. And I think people should try this because it's simple, it's easy to make, but it's delicious.
Okay, I have this one paired with a sausage because it seemed like, a relish, obviously. So it's gonna try it on its own first. Ooh, yum, tangy. A little spicy in like a really good way. We're just gonna go right on to the meat now. Okay. One pickled thing that I always keep in my house is pickled red onions. I did a whole video about it. This is now also going to always be in the house. This is a perfect slaw. I think that's what I'm calling it, at least. It is tangy, a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, crunchy. So simple to make. And it like pairs well with the sausage, but I bet this pairs well with pretty much everything. I love it. When I went into this episode, I thought that I was going to need to learn how to can, but I've since learned that canning is preservation. So you can something and it will keep for, years, ideally. When you just pickle something in an airtight container, you get a couple of weeks, maybe a month out of it, but that's kind of enough. Like I do have a lot, but I live in New York City. I don't really have the place to be canning and storing things for the future. I don't even have space for all my spices. They're literally all over the floor. I'm gonna show you. And I feel like I'm just so inspired. Everything has been so simple to make, but the flavors have all been so different from the just traditional cucumber pickles that I'm used to. And I've just found things that I really deeply love. I don't really remember where this started from. It started because I was talking about canning. I think it's just that this has been very exciting. And I know I say this probably in every episode. I'm like, this is so exciting, but it is. Food is very exciting. Learning new things is exciting. I feel like I've learned a lot about pickling. And I hope that you're inspired to try some of these. Honestly, please try some of these. They are very easy. They're easy. And good.
Hello, my name is Anajulia and I am from São Paulo, Brazil, and the dish that I want to share with you today is pickled potatoes, or as we call it in here, batatinhas em conserva. In Portuguese, every word ending in inha or inho means small, so batatinhas means small potatoes. And that's what we need to make this dish. We need the smallest potatoes you can find because it is supposed to be an appetizer. And you need to eat that using little wooden skewers, or you can use a fork too, but the wooden skewers are part of the experience. This recipe is very easy to make. You just need to boil the potatoes and then add them to a pickle juice, which is also very easy to prepare. You just need vinegar, olive oil, onions, red pepper flakes, and parsley or cilantro, which one you prefer. You can even store it to the fridge up to 2 weeks. In my family, my grandmother and her sisters would prepare it for us in every party. This dish reminds me of the good times I had with my family because I have a pretty big family, and in all of the parties that we had, everyone was invited and everyone was there. My family liked to dance, they like music, they like to have barbecues. I miss being a child and being surrounded by my cousins and playing with them. I recommend you to eat the potatoes by itself because they are amazing. But if you prefer, you can eat with white rice and grilled meat. I think people should try it because it's delicious and very simple. You can find potatoes, onions, and vinegar all around the world, and it's not expensive or difficult to make. If you try it, I hope you like it.
Never have I ever had a pickled potato, and also never have I ever had a potato out of a can. So 2 firsts for me. These look so good though. Oh my god. This is so good. It's like having potato salad, but way better. Wait, does that even make sense? I don't know. Wow. It's super tangy, so you have that like vinegary, like smack flavoring feeling. But then it's got all of this spice from the chili. You can taste the onions in it. It's just like, this is a party in your mouth, which I feel now like makes sense that this is a party food. It's a party in your mouth for a party on the ground. I found these disco balls at the thrift store that I put in that final shot. Aren't they so fun? I tried to make it a party scene. So I bought mini potatoes because there is a world where like you would boil potatoes, but then I also saw the canned potatoes and I thought, no, I'm gonna make this as easy for myself as possible. No regrets. If you are having people over, I highly recommend making this. It is very low lift. It is vibrant and exciting. It tastes different from any other type of potato thing that you've had, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, like we all love salt and vinegar potato chips, so why wouldn't you love vinegary pickled potatoes? Huh? The toothpick was a good call. Although I guess I missed my spoon, just a little. This episode was so much fun to make. I do have a lot of pickled things left in my house, so I will be eating that for a while. I do have a fermented foods video coming up, but in the meantime, I have this pickled red onion video where I sing a song, and let's go old school. Watch this mango video. It's super, super fun now that you saw this mango dish. Okay, I will see you all in my next video.